You ask most people what their number one fear is. What do you think it is? Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay? I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
Mel Gibson's Sound of Freedom, a bold challenge to Hollywood's woke culture. In the ever-evolving landscape of Hollywood, few figures stand as provocatively as Mel Gibson. Known for his iconic roles in films like Mad Max and Braveheart, Gibson has often found himself at the center of controversy. His latest film, Sound of Freedom, not only showcases his talent but also ignites a passionate debate about the direction of the film industry, particularly concerning its relationship with social justice and political correctness. Hollywood's response to Sound of Freedom. The release of Sound of Freedom has stirred significant reactions within Hollywood. Gibson, in a candid interview, expressed his disillusionment with the industry's current trajectory, stating that it has become a creativity-crushing, silence-enforcing beast. He argues that the original purpose of woke culture, which aimed to promote social justice, has now morphed into a mechanism that stifles creativity and silences dissenting opinions. Gibson's film tackles the harsh and often uncomfortable reality of child trafficking in Latin America, an issue he feels Hollywood tends to avoid. From its inception, Sound of Freedom faced resistance from major studios which sought to suppress its release. However, rather than retreating, Gibson and his team devised a staggered release strategy across various countries, ensuring that the film remained in the public eye and generated ongoing buzz. Box office success amid controversy. Despite the industry's attempts to downplay the film, Sound of Freedom has smashed box office records, challenging the status quo of Hollywood's narrative. The film's success has sparked discussions about the hypocrisy within the entertainment industry, particularly regarding its claims of caring for social issues while remaining silent on child trafficking. Critics of the film often dismiss it as fear-mongering, yet Gibson stands firm as its most vocal advocate. He has pointed out the irony of the industry's reaction to Sound of Freedom, highlighting how it reveals the flaws in Hollywood's facade of social justice. Gibson's determination to bring these issues to light has resonated with audiences who feel disconnected from the mainstream narratives often presented in films.
From beginning to end, it's very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better. And it's like, whoa! Ooh.
Revealing the truth about child trafficking. One of the most striking aspects of Sound of Freedom is its portrayal of child trafficking. Gibson emphasizes that the reality is often more complex than the sensationalized narratives typically depicted in films. He recounts harrowing stories, illustrating that recruiters for trafficking are often non-threatening individuals, which contrasts sharply with the common stereotype of a creepy stranger. In a particularly chilling segment, Gibson describes a case where a seemingly innocent woman lured a young girl with promises of candy, only for the child to be subjected to unimaginable horrors. This stark contrast to the expected portrayals challenges viewers to reconsider their assumptions about trafficking and those who perpetrate it.
Sit by and tolerate any kind of nonsense, but if one of their priests utters something that resembles orthodoxy, well then they spring into action, they reprimand him, and they bully him and do their best to cancel him. And it succeeds. They drum him out of the service, you know.
The hypocrisy of Hollywood's woke agenda. Gibson's critique of Hollywood extends beyond just the subject matter of Sound of Freedom. He argues that the industry has lost its way, prioritizing political agendas over authentic storytelling. In a world where deviating from the norm can lead to exclusion, Gibson's return to filmmaking is marked by his unwavering stance against the constraints of political correctness. He highlights the double standards prevalent in Hollywood, where figures like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson may face scandalous accusations yet often escape severe backlash. In contrast, Gibson's critiques of woke culture evoke swift and harsh responses, revealing a troubling inconsistency in how the industry handles dissenting voices. A voice for the voiceless. Through his work, Gibson aims to give a voice to those often marginalized in mainstream narratives. His films, including Hacksaw Ridge and the upcoming The Passion of the Christ Resurrection, challenge audiences to confront uncomfortable truths. Gibson's willingness to tackle controversial subjects has garnered both praise and criticism, yet his work undeniably resonates with viewers seeking more than just politically correct narratives. In an industry increasingly focused on image and social accountability, Gibson's defiance serves as a reminder of the importance of creative freedom. His films reflect a growing audience's desire for authentic, impactful stories that address real-world issues rather than conforming to sanitized versions of reality. The future of storytelling in Hollywood. As Hollywood grapples with its identity, figures like Mel Gibson are compelling the industry to reassess its priorities. His journey represents a larger dialogue about the significance of free expression and storytelling in our culture. Gibson's resolve to present genuine, provocative narratives in the face of potential backlash highlights the ongoing struggle between artistic freedom and the constraints of social accountability. Ultimately, whether one views Gibson as a visionary filmmaker or a relic of a bygone era, his influence on Hollywood is undeniable. His commitment to challenging established norms and addressing uncomfortable truths ensures that the conversation surrounding Sound of Freedom will continue to evolve.
Social contract. You can't get mad. You can't get mad. You can't let it get you, because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be fucked over at some point.
Conclusion, a cultural shift in the making. In conclusion, Mel Gibson's Sound of Freedom stands as a bold challenge to Hollywood's prevailing narratives. By confronting the harsh realities of child trafficking and critiquing the industry's hypocrisy, Gibson not only sheds light on important social issues but also advocates for a return to authentic storytelling. As audiences increasingly seek meaningful narratives, the future of Hollywood may very well depend on the courage of filmmakers willing to push boundaries and embrace the complexities of the human experience. What are your thoughts on Gibson's approach to filmmaking? Do you believe his stance will influence the future of Hollywood? Share your opinions in the comments below.
It does feel different. I think because, I don't know, I think just because I've been around longer, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm more relaxed about the whole thing, you know, because there's no point in being anything else,
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
So, you know, I'm not going to get all wound up about it. I'm going to just try and like